What's up, guys? It's a gypsy. I'm not making any kind of videos where you guys see a bunch of pictures of fucking boxes and shit. Like a bunch of scenery and all that kind of crap that you guys enjoy. Because I don't feel like doing that shit. It's too much of my time, and not much of a content creator. You can go ahead and say that. Yes, you can. What can I say? The reason I'm doing this video is I wasn't gonna make any videos for who knows how long. I mean, I was thinking about making a video of Canelo versus Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant has been on my radar for a long time, ever since I picked him to beat Uzgatagi, but by 12 rounds, that is, not by knockout or whatever. But Caleb Plant was never one of those guys that I'd be like, that's a guy that can beat Canelo. Never once was that dude. And I still think Billy Joe Saunders was. Billy Joe Saunders made a mistake. He got caught with a fucking shovel hook to the face from from pound for pound number one. At this point, you can go ahead and call him Canelo. There's Terrence Crawford, there's Usyk there. You can, arguably, my pound for pound, uncrowned pound for pound is Bivol. But uncrowned, though. But based on resumes and all that shit, you can go ahead and say you call out Canelo as pound for pound number one. I have no problem with that, even though he's cheating and all that stuff. But a lot of these motherfuckers cheat. Just because he got caught don't mean shit. You know what I mean? What was I going to get to? The reason why... By the way, Canelo's fucking walking down Caleb Plant and not stopping him by 10. That's a different story. He's stopping him by 10. At first, I gave Caleb Plant maybe a shot, and I was looking at his... But then I was like, dude, you couldn't stop Uzgatagi. When you look at it, you think about Canelo, based on stylist, he would have stopped Uzgatagi. And I know styles makes fights, but he's going to break it to the body, and then he's going to stop him at somewhere in the 10. He's going to slow him down and everything. This kid doesn't have no idea how hard Canelo hits. He has no idea. He just has no idea. He thinks he knows. I don't think he definitely knows exactly how hard he hits. You know what I mean? No clue. Canelo's power belongs in the 175s. But this is not a video about Canelo and Caleb Plant. This is a video about Rolly Romero versus Tank Davis. See, I was never much of a guy that wants to watch a fight of Tank motherfucking Davis. I never was. I never wanted to watch one of his. And to be honest with you, I've only watched highlights of that kid. I never once watched a full-on beginning to end. Actually, maybe one of those fucking fights you undercard-wise with Pacquiao. I think he was Mayweather Pacquiao. He was in the undercard, and maybe some other fights where he was on the undercard of those fights. I watched it, but not because I wanted to. Because every guy, the reason why, not because he's a bad boxer, because every guy he's ever faced have been the lesser, or they've been like cherry picks pretty much. That's what they were, all of them. Even the ones that were, you might say, oh, Lomachenko has fought that guy too. He drained Pedraza. Barrios was drained as well. You know what I mean? Those are like the two best wins on his resume. And he pretty much, I'm not talking about that other kid that he leveled. That was too small of a kid for him. He knocked him out with I forgot his name. If it comes to my mind, I will tell you. I'll call out his name. The fucking 130 pounder, or maybe I think he's probably less than that. I forgot that fucking kid's name, because I'm not much of a guy that watches the lower weight divisions unless it's top tier. Top tier from 130 on up. Inu is the only exception. But all that shit aside, people who know me know this. All that shit aside, he's been fighting guys much smaller than him. He's been cutting down weight, not even making weight. All this shit that Rolly been talking about Tank Davis on those press conferences is true. Every last word of that kid that came out of his mouth was fucking true about fucking Tank Davis. It's true about David Haney as well. It's true about who else did he mention? David Haney, Tank Davis, I think it was, who the fuck was the other dude that he mentioned? I know there was another motherfucker he mentioned that he was called Shakur Stevenson. All those motherfuckers, those little fucking fag boys, because they're all fag boys. Realistically, they're all fag boys. I don't care how good they are fag boys because they're not the ones that want to step up to competition. They ain't. As if you're this fucking good and you're picking on fighters that are that fucking good and you're showboating your abilities because they're that good, of course you're gonna look good. And then you're claiming that you're like what? You're some kind of pound for pound or like the best fucking guy to be watched, Tank Davis. You're not, bro. I've never fucking once wanted to watch your fights. Tank Davis, I'm not saying you might be a fucking hell of a good dude, but your fights, motherfucker, ain't worth watching. Ain't worth watching. The only time that I wanted to watch was here now. Rolly Romero. You guys don't know Rolly Romero, but Teofimo's dad can vouch for him. Teofimo's dad can vouch for him. Not only Teofimo's, a bunch of other fucking dudes. Benavidez' side, his dad can vouch for that. David Benavidez' that guy's a beast. And what I saw from him, I've heard of this kid. I just didn't watch his fights. I just heard it from people that are close to him, relatives, that he's really good. And I didn't even know his name at the time. When I watched him, the consistency, the defensive, the way he's so defensive, at every attack he does, it just doesn't go wailing in like some fucking, I don't know, some fucking brawler that just gets fucking clobbered. He goes in for the clobbering, but he gets hit like 5 times before he lands one shot, or like whatever, lands 50-50. You know, he gets hit the same amount that he delivers. No, he is very defensively sounded. Very defensively sounded. And that fight that he had not too long ago, I bet from that, I don't know what the fuck that guy's name was, some Latin American black kid, a little bit tall. He beat him. The only rounds that he lost were 4-3. He did not lose that fight, but obviously he got a bunch of haters because I'm pretty sure he talks a lot of shit in the Mayweather gym, and they don't like it because he's really fucking good, and they don't have an answer to how good he is, but to shit on him. You know what I mean? Devin Haney made a video of this kid. Edited out, but who knows what the fuck happened in there? Because what I'm saying is Devin Haney's getting fucking punked, and what he's doing is making videos of where he had a little bit of success in that fight and clipped it all together just to make himself look good. And that's why, and I agree with Rolly Romero, that Devin Haney is the bitch of fucking boxing. Ask Tio. Tio would tell you the same shit. Devin Haney is the bitch of fucking boxing. Of all of boxing. And I believe that shit. You know what I mean? Like, when I looked at him, I'm like, what are you, bitch of boxing? I'm like, wait a minute. Holy shit, he's right. I was like, look at like all the fucking fights all the divisions that I know of, because I'm not including the lower 120, below 126 actually, not still because of anyway. You know, I keep forgetting what anyway weights division is, like 122, 126. I don't fucking know. I just watch his fights. You know what I mean? Because I don't pay attention to that division. 130 is where I pay attention. 135 is more attention. 140 even more attention. Whatever, you know. 147 of course. And beyond this, all of my eyes are there. You know what I mean? But the thing is though, what I'm trying to say is, he is the bitch of boxing, Devin Haney. He's the biggest bitch there is. And I think only his fanboys cannot accept that. You know, with Tank's attitude, I can respect Tank. I can't respect Devin Haney. On Tank's attitude, I can at least respect because he's, you know, non-talkative. He will brawl. He will do his thing, bro. He ain't fucking. I'm in a way I'm certain that he's not afraid to fight Rolly Romero. You know what I mean? It just, big questions arise in my head, like how the fuck does it happen that you, my friend, give Rolly Romero. Well, I'm not saying he gave him because I don't know what the fuck. This girl comes out of nowhere with these accusations about 8 girls, that is, or whatever it is, that Rolly has apparently sexually assaulted them. How's that happen? It's your Mayweather daddy did that. That's why. Because Mayweather knew this was a fucking mismatch. Bro, I'm telling you right now, Rolly would steamroll Tank. And everything he told on media day with this mint coat kind of looked fucking weird to me, honestly. But he's a funny dude. Funny but talented. He would steamroll Tank. Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to spar that dude because he's apparently too aggressive. No, that's not it. Too aggressive, whatever. They're friends, but it's because he whips his ass, probably. Just be real. Just be real. And his dad knows it, too. And that motherfucking afraid, to say, like, I'll fuck your son up, you. And Rolly's that type of individual, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, he's balls deep. He's hard, I'm not saying he's a pussy. I mean, he's hard in everything. That's what I was going to say something totally different. I'm not saying, like, yeah, in certain areas he's not that, but, like, in a boxing ring, if you call him out, he ain't afraid. He says it right on stage. I would fight anyone, if it's division, obviously, or 140, anytime, any day. He ain't afraid of a challenge. But on the other hand, someone like Tank Davis probably is, because he didn't take a chance. Loma was right there calling him out. Tio's right there calling him out. Haney's right there. You could fight Haney. Why the fuck you ain't fight Haney? Haney's a bitch too, though. So you don't even mention that motherfucker. There was what's that fucking guy's name when he was winning 130? Gary Russell was right there. Why didn't you fight him? Why didn't you fight Gary Russell? Because you a bitch. That's too. That's reality, bro. These motherfuckers, these Shakur Stevensons, these Tank Davises, these Devin Haney's, they're fucking cowards, bro. They're legit fucking cowards. And they act like because they've been raised in boxing, they got good confidence in shit what they do. You know what I mean? They think they're above and beyond everyone else because they've been pampered their way up. Taught well. I'm not saying they had good coaches by themselves. I'm pretty sure they did. Because Devin Haney got skill. Devin Haney don't got no pop. And Devin Haney got no chin. That's the problem with Devin Haney. And he knows that. And he knows that if he ever faces T.O., he's going to get his ass handed to him. If he ever faces Rolly too, he'll get his ass handed to him. Rolly will fucking steamroll that kid. You know why? It's not because it ain't just about the skill set with Rolly Romero. It's the consistency. This guy has pop from round 1 to round 12, not getting tired. But when you watch Tank Davis fight, for instance, Tank Davis, dude, Pedraza was making him almost cry in that ring. And I was like, what is he talking about, him crying? Dude, the motherfucker does cry in the ring. He almost cried. I was looking at him, I'm like, dude, this fool's about to cry getting hit this many times. It's legit shit. And if someone's out there saying that Rolly Romero, no one's picking him to beat fucking Tank, I'm that guy. I'm picking him to not only beat him, probably even stop him. Stop him at like maybe somewhere around fucking 9 rounds. He can stop him. I see Rolly stopping Tank Davis. I don't know what kind of hype do you guys give Tank Davis? Well, because he beat Pedraza and he beat Barrios and all this, There's a bunch of other names I can, that plus that Mexican kid got knocked out, but then he was like too small of a fucking kid to face someone like Tank Davis. You know what I mean? Dude, on a real note, bro, dude, that shit don't, you gotta look at the fight. Look at how Tank, they talk about Mayweather's career being like padded up and everything, all this shit. Mayweather was legit, you know what I mean? This kid's career, yes, he's being controlled by Mayweather, obviously, is legitimately padded up. Because Mayweather's looking at him, he's like, dude, when is this kid going to be ready? You know what I mean? Like, I can't, at first he's like, okay, I'm going to put him up against Rolly because, at this moment in time. Not at first. Rolly been calling up for 2 years. Calling him up for 2 years. You know what I mean? 2 years he's been calling his ass out. And I wonder why he's not been picking him out. And now you see why. Accusations, sexual accusations. Why are these things happening? Is because the reason why these things are fucking happening is because Tank doesn't want the fight. And Mayweather thought that he was able to, and he was confident to win, and he can possibly win, but seems like he's realizing Tank is not confident in himself and that he can beat Rolly. And it's probably too soon to put him up against Rolly. That's why these accusations came. It was Mayweather's job, or Leonard Ellerby's job, whatever, whoever did it. But Tank, ultimately, Mayweather is the one making the decisions. Mayweather is the one who brought in some hoes, let's just say that much, to do this. You know what I mean? Because realistically, I mean, you gotta be a dumb motherfucker not to see this. You know, like this kid comes out with a press conference 5 days later. Some bitch comes out with some accusations. He might, you know, these accusations can be real, but this bitch never cared about it. But now she cares about it. You know what I mean? But she didn't care about it back then. You know what I mean? She didn't give a shit about it when Rolly was doing this. If he really was doing this, because we don't even know. It could be all bullshit. This guy might not even know her. You know what I mean? Or these chicks. You know what I mean? So it could be all bullshit. Also, all of it can be bullshit. But if there's any kind of realism, in my opinion, there is some kind of realism, because you can't just come up with these kinds of accusations sometimes. You know what I mean? A lot of times. I think there is a realism to this, but it's not to the extent that these girls be talking about. You know what I mean? They wanted him. They were after his dong. Let's just say that much. You know what I mean? And what happened was, they saw him get popular, like, oh, sexually abused me. Because he just said, fuck off. I don't want nothing to do with you bitches. You know what I mean? This is how dirty this world is. You know what I mean? You can't get over the fact of how dirty this world is. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's why you gotta, especially if you're gonna be on top like that, you gotta make sure who's around you. You know what I mean? Realistically. Dude, there's accusations about Mayweather. Not accusations. There's stories about Mayweather raping women, but just stories. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not gonna say it's facts. But do they ever come out? No, because if it ever does decide to come out, Mayweather pays him off. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But the thing is, though, what am I trying to get? What am I saying here? What I'm trying to get at here, boys, they fucking fuck all that rape shit, all that. Let's talk about boxing, man. Fuck all this nonsense. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers brought in an accusation just for the fight not to happen, and I guarantee you, this fight will not happen because Tank gets fucked up by Royal Romero, and all his homeboys, including all those black fucking racist motherfuckers. Not all of them. I'm talking about only those individuals, and some who don't know who Rolly is. You know what I mean? Those guys are different. You know what I mean? Or they're just fanboys of Tank. You know what I mean? They protect him. They're saying, like Haney's saying, oh, he doesn't know how to box. Bullshit, Haney. You know he knows how to box. Bullshit. Whatever. Who else was it? Shakur Stevens. You know he knows how to box. You can't sit there and tell me when Tio's dad is telling people that this kid is the real deal, and you're sitting there and telling everyone else, like, and even fucking Tio Fimo himself is saying that they're close friends. You're telling me that that's not the case. I'm gonna say you're a bullshitter. Not because they're best friends with another. They know. And I've seen it myself, how this kid boxes. The consistency. Shit, he has even more consistency than, you know, if you like, you know what I mean? Consistency is like, you know how, stamina-wise, he doesn't lose that stamina from first round to 12 round. But Gervonta Davis does. Haney does. Shakur Stevenson does. These guys do. They know they get their ass kicked by this kid. because he's a low comer. He doesn't have that promotion backing him up, Mayweather. That's why he doesn't get a lot of fucking thing. But he's a legit fucking fighter. He's one of the, if you don't know, I'm telling you right now, he's one of the top tiers. I thought he was a joke at first because when I first heard about him, I was like, hey, he's a joke. No, he ain't. This is a danger for fucking Tank. Tank will lose this, and I can bet money on this. He will get knocked out. The fact that whatever he said about Tank Davis, him being a crybaby, he being a bitch, he being avoiding him, he not talking shit when there's people around, all these things, they're true. I can guarantee you that. It's just the attitude of the people. You got a fucking tiger that lives off by himself and kills off by himself, and lives off, whatever his territory is, by himself. You know what I mean? And you got a lion by himself, won't do shit. Tank Davis. I'm giving him little props. I'm calling him a lion. You know what I mean? But with a pride, he'll attack a fucking elephant. You know what I mean? But a tiger by himself, he goes and attacks a fucking elephant. You know what I mean? This is the differences. You know what I mean? This is the differences between Tank and Rolly Romero. All that shit is said, yeah. So this is the video. This is the reason why I want to make this video, because a lot of motherfuckers are counting out Rolly Romero. But they'll find out eventually. They're comparing him to, what's his name? Adrian Broner. Fuck no, man. This Adrian Broner, low punch output, doesn't commit on every single one of his punches unless he's fighting nobodies. You know what I mean? This kid will commit from the beginning to the end, and every single punch he throws, and he throws it with, not just by brainless, like he just throws it. He throws it with this. He throws it with this, and defensively does this. You know what I mean? You watch him fight. He does the best. I'm gonna be real with you. The best Philly shell that I've seen anyone do. Anyone. Like he talks about, Mayweather. They copy Mayweather. Philly shell, and they fuck it up. Yes, they all fuck it up realistically. Some defensively are good at it, but they can't add the offense aspect of it. Rolly does. Rolly adds the offense aspect to it. He adds both of it. Because he's fast, in and out, like Pacquiao. In and out. Fast, and consistent with that. And throws a whole bunch of punches. Not as fast as Pacquiao, but not too far away from that. I can tell you that much. Not too far away from that. All that shit aside. Yeah, he wants to be a pay-per-view star. That's all bull boxers' dreams, you know what I mean? But the kid's good. And when all these motherfucking racist faggots out there who down this kid, and they know who the fuck he is too. If they didn't know, it's two different things. But they talk shit to this fucking kid. Oh man. You best fucking believe that he's the real deal. When you got legit trainers, legit people saying he's great, and then you got haters that are saying, no, he's not. He's shit. He's going to get knocked out in 5 rounds or 4 rounds. Dude, it didn't take me. It's not because of that reason I found it. I found it based on his last fight, where they claimed that he apparently lost. And I didn't watch that fight until recently, like a month ago. A couple weeks ago, actually. It's fucking obvious. He didn't lose that fight. But people don't see it that way because their eye speed, they can't tell sometimes. What one punch lands, what doesn't land. They can't tell. I looked at that shit, I was like, man, this kid fucking won all the rounds except for 3 or 4 of them. 3 or 4 of them, he took the pedal out of the metal, but the thing is though, it wasn't more of a pedal out of the metal, it was more he wasn't thinking, and since he was dealing with a taller, tough, lankier fighter that got hurt multiple times in that fight, you know what I mean, holding on for dear life, he was a smart fighter too, the guy he was dealing with, long reach, jab, he was using the jab perfectly on him, most of the time, not most of the time, a little bit of the time. The rounds that he succeeded. in winning. The 3-4 rounds I'm talking about. The rest, Rolly dominated. Rolly beat that kid, bro. You know, I don't know what the fuck they were watching. It's just like how they watched Errol Spence versus Porter. I had Errol fucking beating Porter by 8 fucking rounds, bro. 8 rounds and plus the knockdown. But they looked at, oh, the Porter fight was so close. It wasn't. Really wasn't. It's a very slugfest fucking type of fight. You can't see the shots that are landing and shots that Errol was blocking, or even Porter was, blocking. But majority Porter was getting hit much more often. If you do a punch count, Porter was getting much more hit, even though he was making a slugfest out of the fight. He was getting hit and he got dropped on top of that. There's no chance fucking Porter won that. Even if it was a even fight, Porter got dropped. Porter definitely lost that fight, but there's guys out there, Porter won. I think Porter fucking did it just because they hate fucking Errol Spence. I don't care if you like the guy or hate the motherfucker. You know what I mean? I hate fucking Haney. I hate Chuck or Stevens. If they win, I'm not going to sit there and say, you know what, my emotions said, I want this guy. Nah, bro. Like, for the longest of times, I was never going to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up now because, motherfuckers they won't accept it. They're just not that type. I thought Kovalev actually beat Ward. I did. But looking back on that fight, the first fight, right? He didn't. He lost. That's why Kovalev, if Kovalev actually was landing the shots that they're claiming that he was, he would have knocked his ass out in like 6 rounds. He couldn't. His shots were the stings of the shots were taken away by the defensive skill set that Andre Ward has. And he broke him down to a point where Kovalev was like, I can't believe I got tired after the 6th round because you were getting broken down. You were getting hit, you were getting countered, and you didn't have an answer besides your fucking jab. That's all you had. You jab in your right hand and you couldn't figure out any way to get through that defensive mastery that Andre Ward brought to you. The second fight, different story. I haven't really watched the second fight since who knows when. But the first fight, definitely fucking Andre Ward won by maybe two rounds or something like that. 2 to 3. I don't remember exact amounts. You know what I mean? I forgot. It's been a minute. But rewatched it like a year back, two times in a row. Dude, Andre Ward won that. I was too much in my emotion. Because I didn't want Andre Ward to win for some reason. I don't know what the fuck the reason was, but at the time, so I thought he was a cheat or something like that. Because he is in a way cheating, elbows and all that shit that he did, But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? I don't really give a shit, bro. I'm not a racist type of motherfucker, but I call racism when I see racism. And that motherfucker, those motherfuckers who shit on, even Andre Ward, you know what I mean? They shit on the fucking racist, you know what I mean? They shit on fucking Rolly, fucking racist. You know what I mean? And a bunch of them, bro, like, because it's one specific race. That's what I mean. It's one specific type of people that do this. To specific type of fighters. That's why I call those motherfuckers racist. Anyhow, yeah, you've been educated. It's the fucking gypsy. I'm tired of hearing bullshit about boxing. Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul it's not a fake fight, bro. That kid is calling out motherfuckers for real. Tyron Woodley had zero, but that's a different story. Zero skill set. Like, not zero, but like very small toolbox. Jake Paul been working on that toolbox. And he's a smart kid. He's not stupid. For a minute. Anything you can see clear off the bat that Tyron Woodley had nothing to offer skill set wise. He wanted a knockout. He was going for the knockout. The first thing he did when he stepped in, he was overhand right. The very first thing. You think he ain't going for the knockout when the first fucking shot he throws is an overhand fucking right? You must be fucking blind, Bruce motherfucking Vane. I don't know what the fuck you thinking. You're stupid. You know what I mean? At that point. It's a fixed fight. You know what's a fixed fight? AJ versus Usyk. That's a fixed fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Chavez Jr. That's a fixed fight. In some cases, Kovalev versus Canelo, but not really, because that was still a real fight. Because they didn't let him recover off that Anthony Yard fight. Canelo has more respect by me than fucking Anthony Joshua. Anthony just fucking bitch. And just now people are starting to realize how much of a bitch Anthony Joshua is. Just now they're realizing it. Wilder's a man. Anthony Joshua's a bitch. Wilder might be does some fucking fruity shit. You know what I mean? Does some weird shit, but he's more of a man than fucking Anthony Joshua. In the ring, at least. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, I'm out.